Thank you. That means I'm rather crazy.
I didn't say it.
So it's great to be here. I see some familiar faces, and when we get to the Q&A, I know there's some folks in the room that can help answer questions as well. I'm Karen LeVert. I started 2 innovation labs here in North Carolina, one around the medical space called Southeast TechInventures, and another in agriculture called TechInventures just recently. So I'm going to take 15 minutes but go really fast. So this will be really broad. I want to tell you a little bit about what I know about commercialization in universities. And I don't know everything. This is just what I know. And then also give you a little feel about how you all are doing as a state or UNC system compared to universities outside of North Carolina. And then I was one of the steering committee members for the University Innovation Council. And I'll introduce some other people that are in the room on that as well. So without any further ado, from an entrepreneur standpoint, Mr. Bissett mentioned that I've been an entrepreneur. I was in corporate America for 14 years and ended up here in North Carolina working with Nationwide Insurance. They moved me here and tried to move me out, and I decided I better try to build my own kingdom to stay here. It's such a great place to live. So, but shortly after getting here, I bought franchise rights to a company that we really were eradicating sugars and starches, grease, and drain lines, believe it or not. I sold that company some years later, was in Silicon Valley, still stayed here, but lived there temporarily in a software company, and then looked at, the wonderful universities we have. And I know Duke isn't part of the UNC system, but the Dean of School of Engineering there kind of had the brainchild of, can you do something from a private standpoint that works with all universities to help move some of this research out of labs into the marketplace? So that's all roads lead to here. So we sit in the middle of industry that has a continuous need for innovation, in academia that has untapped university IP and research. And when I say the word untapped, that doesn't mean anybody's doing a bad job anyplace. Our tech transfer offices actually do a nice job. Their problem is most of what they have to work with is nascent. And when I say it's nascent, it's very early. It's a little too early for venture to invest in, and it's too early for industry to license. So that's kind of where we come into play, is how can we work with the tech transfer offices and further develop some of this early stage research. So I'm going to talk about the business model a little bit, so you know everything I know about this. Now this is just our model. There are other models to commercialize technologies. We work 100% with university inventors. So if you're a university inventor and you have an idea that you think is commercializable, we have a desire to work with those inventors. And because I mentioned that the technologies are nascent and early, we've got to find a way to get those funded early on. So we use a program called SBIR STTR. Who isn't really familiar with when I say those words? So it means everybody. Okay, we have a few people. Good, because I can use my next slide and tell you about what that is. Otherwise, we'd have been in trouble. So, so from a SBIR STTR perspective, SBIR stands for Small Business Innovation Research. Small Business Technology Transfer is STTR. And this is a federal funded program. Now, it's not for nonprofits. You have to be a private company to participate. But we partner with nonprofits under this program and subcontract to universities. And so when we subcontract to a university, when you hear the word sponsored research, sometimes that comes from federal sources, but it also comes from private industry, companies like mine that partner with you. This program, the federal government has invested over $30 billion in it since the mid-'80s. Lots of dollars, right? And I'll tell you the agencies, it's a grant. It's not a loan. It's not investment where they take equity, but it was developed in the mid-'80s or initiated to spur economic development, to try to keep us ahead of the technology development curve. It's only for high-risk, high-payoff research. So if you have something that's the downside. If you've got to have something. That's what makes it beautiful for universities, for us to partner with universities, because most of what you're doing is high risk, high payoff research, right? You have to be in the U.S. to participate in this program and have less than 500 employees, which is the government's classification of a small business. Now, most of the SBIR, STTR awardees have less than 10 people. They're really small companies, a lot of times that work with the universities. The proof of concept, so the phase one, when I said there's $30 billion, you can see how many, over 100,000 plus awards. The phase one is about $150,000. So when we do a phase one proposal, this is over 6 months to a year is what you get for proof of concept. If you're able to prove that, then you can go back and get a phase two. So I'm going to show you some of the companies we've developed, just at a real high level. We don't have time to go into detail, but this is sizable money if you can get up to $1 million to help move these technologies out of university research labs. And the hit ratio, so they're hard to hit. 10 to 15% nationally get awarded. So, one out of 10 basically. So that's SBIR, STTR. The agencies are very familiar to you that play in this program. So huge agencies, they all set aside 2% of their budgets to fund SBIR, STTR. So that's what makes it a sizable program. And I'll show you where, for the most part, the North Carolina universities, in terms of, we've got SBIR that they fund, but they also fund your sponsored research from the federal side, right? You're familiar with, that's where the majority of the dollars that are sponsored in universities come from agencies like these. The other thing I want to point out with this is the diversity of it. And a lot of times we talk about technology, we think it's science. It's not always science. So there are a number of agencies and initiatives that fund outside of just typical science. So what I'm going to talk about next, so these data and graphs came from, I think this was in the 2015 President's Report on Research and Sponsored Programs. So this is an annual report that you all do every year. So when I show you, actually, I'm not there yet, sorry about that. Go from grant dollars, just quickly, I'll give you a little more information on our model. Industry partners are involved. We didn't do this right in the beginning. We didn't involve industry, the IBMs and folks early on to say, what do you think about this research or technology? Because once we started doing that, then you have pull, right? Ultimately, you want to be able to develop something so that they can license or acquire it. So we ended up going about 10 years before we had our first kind of acquisition in the model. We have investors or private company. They fund STI in return for equity. And then our goal is to spin off a NewCo that is partly owned by universities. So we own a piece. The university who helped develop the technology owns a piece of it. The intellectual property gets licensed into our company and then into the new company. And then when the exit happens, which we want, we can drive revenues back to the university. And then, of course, dividends to the investors that put money there. I mentioned 10 years it took. We had a couple of medical device companies that were acquired, one by Leica Microsystems and the other from Illumina. And I'm not going to go over these. These are technologies now that we're advancing. See, Central, you're in the middle there. And then what we did is, we're in a wonderful state, and from an agriculture perspective, we realized, actually Syngenta, who is in RTP, said, have you ever thought about doing your model in the ag space? And so we started Ag TechInventures in 2014. The first spinoff, I had no idea that rubber is the second largest commodity that we import into the US after crude oil. And natural rubber is not sustainable. It's only grown in the tropics, and there's South American leaf blight that's overtaking the rubber trees. So this is actually expressing rubber from sunflowers, which we can grow abundantly in North Carolina. So We're excited about this company. It's raising its first round now. And RX Maker is in the IT space, digital farming. So we want to be at a place where we can tell farmers how much nutrient fertilizer to apply, and also image analytics and looking at, oh, this is a weed versus not a weed, and you can apply whether it's a herbicide or fertilizer based on that. Now, this is where we want to be. So I mentioned that you all have, the universities have sponsored awards. So this is a wonderful trend. Over the last 18 years, universities now are at $1.4 billion in research from sponsored programs. The green arrows there, that's the stimulus package was in effect. But you can tell you didn't need stimulus money, you see. We had a little dip right after it went away, but then you're on a wonderful trajectory again. So I think that's a really good sign. And then you may ask, well, what's behind the $1.4 billion annually? So in 2015, you can see a large majority of it is federal, and you saw those agencies before. So 60% is coming from those federal agencies. And then if you look at 6% here, I'll look at that's from the state. And then the 7, like companies like ours, or any businesses, could be small business or large business, that when they do sponsored research with universities, that's making up that part of the pie. So you can see the federal government, though, is the lion's share of the driver for what's happening from a sponsorship perspective. All these numbers eventually add up to 1.4. I just picked the bigger numbers, but if you look at the United States, looks like there's a typo up there. I'm a spelling fanatic. So United States federal government, if you look at, you can see it's no surprise that NIH is the biggest supporter really for our universities. Where the opportunity is, if you start looking strategically, look here at Department of Defense. That's one of the largest agencies. And from a state perspective, if strategically you're looking at an area to maybe concentrate on, North Carolina has huge military presence. Also, our veteran hospitals are here as it relates to, some of our medical technologies. I know Kathy Seidner's in the back. They're doing a report with the Defense Applications Group. That's going to come out in November. We'll go to the Board of Governors and chancellors, and so I think they're going to do a good job, or I know, I've seen the initial draft of kind of level state, where are we today, and how we can improve in this area if that's important to you. But it looks like an opportunity. I'm not going to go over all of this. There are great folks in this room that can give you all this information if you don't have it. But just wanted to give you just a feel for a little bit what's behind the scenes. Next, I'm going to say this. I'm not doing this for any comparison's sake, so don't look at it that way. This is to give you a feel for, these are output measures as it relates to commercialization in universities. So invention disclosures, it just kind of gives you a feel for the numbers that are happening on a state level. And usually, large universities are always going to have the bigger numbers here. So that's why I want to emphasize there are no comparisons. But it gives you a feel for invention disclosures, U.S. patents that are issued. So those are ones, they file a patent and then some years later they get issued. Licenses that the universities are given to big companies or licensing to big or small companies, and options, the number of startups, and license income. So these are the doctoral granting institutions, and then the other institutions that are not. So if we start looking at trends then, so if we take all your UNC system information on disclosures, patents, what we're seeing, so invention disclosures are up 8% from 2012 over the last 4 years. Patents look pretty, flat. You can see that. The license and options are up 50%. So that's good. That's showing that, your universities are increasing the level of options that they are administering. Startups are up 80%. Now, those are really small numbers, but eventually that all should lead to our licensing income increasing. It's up 21% right now. So if the startups are up 80%, but licensing income's only up 20%, what does that tell you? What's that? Startup companies have a harder time. It takes them a long time. I said 10 years, like for us to get, before we gave money back to a university. It takes them longer, but it's not bad to see the increase in startups because over time, that'll happen. So the opportunity is how do we increase their level of success? And that's where, we talk about industry. The other thing that's happening here, large companies do a lot, they have, larger licensing. You get a large part of licensing income from larger companies and not startups. So the next couple of graphs. So have you heard of AUTM? Sometimes people talk about AUTM. That's the Association of University Technology Managers. And they do an annual survey every year. So the next couple of graphs, and this is for the whole state. So you can see Duke is in here because they're part of the state. But in 2014, these numbers look pretty good for us. The AUTM, so these are universities outside of North Carolina. On average, each year they're executing about 30 licenses a year. Our average is 41. And you can see in the system here, we're in pretty good shape. If you look at licenses executed per 10 million of research expenditures, again, I don't know if everybody can see that, we're in good shape. I mean, you can see a lot of UNC system institutions here. All good. Total licenses, the startups, we fall off a little bit here. So, but NC State's ahead of the AUTM average, but still, that's not bad. Here's where our opportunity is, and we've heard this over and over again that, we're one of the top states as it relates to funded research, but we're towards the bottom as it relates to licensing. So income that's coming in based on that funded research. So if you look here, the universities on average outside of North Carolina annually are bringing in about $435 million, and we're bringing in $135 million. So that gap is closing, but there are things that maybe strategically to work on there. I know within your universities, if you talk to folks there, especially in the tech transfer offices, they can probably say, well, this is what we feel is the reason for that. So anyway, just wanted to, hopefully that was helpful just to kind of get the lay of the land as to, what people are looking at from a commercialization perspective in universities. So lastly, let's see. So the University Innovation Council I mentioned. So I've served on governor-initiated innovation councils with both Governor Perdue and then now with Governor McCrory. And Governor McCrory had a program called Innovation to Jobs, and several of you may be aware of that a couple of years ago. And an action item that came out of that was the formation of a University Innovation Council. And this is probably one of the best, I guess it was a university-wide initiative that I have across the state that I've been a part of. John Harden in the back was another steering committee member, and really the wind beneath our wings, he and Scott Duran back here from the Department of Commerce. And I'm going to go over just names of folks that are part of the university system. So Jeff Brennan with Wake Forest, Chris Brown was another steering committee member, Joe Kazier is back here. He also is at App State and is the director of Center for Analytics Research and Education. I want to point out, Joe, raise your hand, he mapped all the tech transfer processes across all of the universities. And that's a major first step in trying to streamline. And he's also our tech transfer fellow, right? Judith Cohn's in the back, UNC Chapel Hill, Vice Chancellor, Commercialization, Economic Development. Craig Galbraith with UNCW, Andy Hoffler with NC Central. Erin Hopper she helped pull all this together too, research director, and probably a steering committee member too. You're doing a lot behind the scenes. Darius Isla with Fayetteville State, Staten Knoll with UNC Greensboro, Kelly Sexton at NC State, Wayne Safransky, whose name was mentioned earlier, with NCA&T, Marty Van Scott with ECU, Paul Wettenhall, UNC Charlotte, James Woods from University of North Carolina at Pembroke, Ed Wright with Western Carolina. So we had all of those folks. We worked hard. How many weeks? Can't remember. Lots of meetings, and these are the recommendations that we came up with. Now, I'll say these have not been issued to anyone yet, and we will be presenting them, so they haven't gone to the governor's office yet, so hopefully you won't take them and do anything else with them, but we're giving you a little preview right now. So I'm not going to go over these in close detail, but the first reward, and maybe as you work on your strategies, if anything aligns with what you're doing, then that will be really synchronous. So reward and encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. You know, what's behind this is rewarding activities in innovation, translation, and entrepreneurship. We've talked about things in here, and we will be presenting, such as altering leave policies to pause tenure clocks to allow time for researchers to initiate innovation. So some of these are big, and some of you may say, no way, but these are some of the things we talked about. Include innovation and entrepreneurship in post-tenure review. Those states that are ahead of us, these are things that they're doing. So we have to pay attention. The next one is this, develop the North Carolina Technology Advancement Pathways. This is really important. I think something that came out that is really great. One, this is utilizing the infrastructure at NC State and UNC Chapel Hill, starting there primarily, and having them support other UNC universities. Not every UNC university has a tech transfer office. So if we can do that on a fee-based service, and that's another way to close the gap. Whoops. You can tell I'm almost done. NC TAC, or NC Technology Advancement Capitalization Program, we talked about early stage funding and there being a gap. This really has the state, most of these, believe it or not, we're not asking for a lot of state funding. This one we are, but in an endowment concept. So, and it would be on an institutional level, so each university could participate as they wish. In a type of matching program, but we're excited about that. So it will provide proof of concept funding outside of SBIR. The Innovation Fellowship, this basically is a one-year fellowship that provides a stipend of $25,000 for bachelor's, $50,000 for graduate level. So they can, you can see here, and enables them to transition to a full-time role in a startup. Telling the innovation story, we don't feel like we do enough of that in terms of, what's happening in our universities today. We have great stats that people don't know about, so we need to do a better job of that. So, I talked a lot and probably rather quickly, but appreciate your attention, and hopefully there are some things that I said that you can use from a strategy perspective. If I said anything wrong in the room, the folks in the back can correct me likely. So thanks again, appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen.